Yes, another hero has emerged, according to the news. Beach massacre hero. Killer showed no emotion. That's funny, because every other story says the killer was grinning like an idiot and taking pictures of his victims. But this guy says he shows no emotion. Matthew James was rubbing suntan oil into his partner's back. Kinky. When gunmen opened fire on another couple. Speaking in detail for the first time about the shooting, Mr. James recalled how he threw himself on top of 26-year-old Miss Wilson to protect her before he was hit by the first bullet. Well, he's very gallant, that's for sure. He said, "When I heard the first shot, I reacted without thinking. I remember grabbing Sarah, turning her around and falling on top of her." Well, what is the point of turning someone around if you're going to shield them? I mean, do you think a person is going to be more what's that point in that? Yes. That's when I was shot. I said to Sarah, "Jesus, I have been shot." It's a funny thing to say, "Jesus, I have been shot," alright. He was then shot 2 more times in his stomach and chest, missing vital organs by millimetres. It's a bit like that Rita Williams and her hat. "I was angry and panicking. I was lying facing Sarah under the sunbed. I said, 'Babe, I'm going to die.' That's when I told her to tell the kids I loved them, and I knew they needed one parent at least." There was no emotion in the killer's face. He looked like a postman. But instead of delivering letters, he was strolling around shooting people. He had the gun in his hand and was kicking the sunbeds up, then shooting people hiding underneath. He was making sure they were dead, firing 3 shots at a time. You know, why didn't somebody tackle him? I mean, what's the point of hiding under a sunbed? There's all these men around. Why couldn't somebody tackle him? And again, is firing 3 shots at a time. Well, the mathematics are odd here, because the AK-47 has a 30-round magazine, and if this guy was shooting 3 shots at a time, then the total number of dead and injured is something like 78, would seem improbable. As his fiancée ran to safety, she could hear the gunshots getting closer. So she and 3 fellow tourists hid in a broom cupboard on the 2nd floor. It's just as well they didn't encounter Boris Becker. With wounds to his shoulder, chest and hip, Mr. James managed to reach the Imperial Hotel. He had surgery to remove the bullets and was airlifted back to Britain. He sustained nerve damage to his left leg and arm. Hang on a minute. He sustained nerve damage to his left and arm, but he was hit 3 times, 2 more times in the chest. So if he was shot 3 times, then what's going on? He's supposed to have been shot 3 times, it says here. And he's shot 2 times in the body. Shot 2 more. Sorry, he was shot. I didn't hurt at first. He was then shot 2 more times in his stomach and chest. And now it seems he's got damage to his left leg and arm. So how many times was he shot then? It must be at least 4. Oh well, I mean, this simply doesn't make sense, does it? I mean, the maths is all wrong. But you know what? I think this is deliberately done. I actually think this is deliberately done, because it's designed to see how many they keep on changing the story. They keep on saying things that are actually impossible. I mean, mathematically, you know, the guy didn't have enough. I mean, if he's shooting everyone 3 times, then he doesn't have enough bullets for all this carnage. He simply doesn't. And why are people hiding under sunbeds? What's the use of that? You might as well, if the guy's that close, you might as well tackle him, and there's other people around. If you could jump him, that might minimise casualties. You don't just hide, you know, bury your head in the sand and let the guy shoot you over and over again. No, this is... But of course, if you read the comments here, everybody seems to believe it. No one does any investigation. Nobody looks through the story and says, does this story make sense? Oh well, there you are.